Hey everybody, and welcome to episode 46 of the GVGCast. Happy Friday, I'm your host for today, Ash Paulson, and I am joined, as always, by my good friends and GVG co-founders, Steve Bowling and Derrick Bittner. Guys, how's it going?
I mean, we kind of always pause like this, don't we, Steve?
We do.
I'm just waiting. Bad. It's going bad.
Why is it going bad for you?
Well, let's get to yours first, because mine has some backstories. It's gonna take a minute.
Right. Okay.
I mean, it's just been an interesting week because for those of you who follow me on Twitter, Kai has learned to climb out of his crib. I forget if I said this before, but the first time he did it, he used we had a small bookshelf with all his kids books next to his crib that he would lay in, and he would climb up on top of the rim and then get on the bookshelf and climb down that way.
Oh no,
not good. So we moved the bookshelf. But even before that, he was like tempting, can I make this? Can I make the down? Maybe. Sure enough, one day later, after we made that change, I put him in bed, go downstairs, and all of a sudden you hear this giggle from upstairs. I look up, and there he is, already out. Had already climbed out of the thing.
Oh,
so
man.
we had to. We've changed it to a toddler bed, and now comes the tricky part of getting him to sleep when he has nothing to keep him in the bed.
Right.
So we've gotten child lock, like one of those child things for the door handle, so he can't get out that way. But we put him in that way, he'll just cry. He'll cry at the end of the door and be like, I don't like this. And his sleep schedule is all kinds of messed up. But I've slowly been discovering a solution. He will sleep as long as I take him on a drive way back when it was first getting him adjusted to the crib and sleeping on his own.
Okay.
So that's what I was doing right before the GVG cast. That's why we're a little late. So apologies for that. But I took him on a drive, got the kid to sleep, transferred him over to the into his bed, and he just stays there.
Okay.
Hey,
well,
that works.
The big thing is we got to do is just make sure he doesn't take a nap during the middle of the day, because if he takes that, we're screwed. He did not get to bed till midnight last night.
Right. Oh, geez.
I remember when Avery was about Kai's age, and she was doing the same stuff, man. I had a little video baby monitor. I'm sure you have one. Every parent buys one of those. And I remember seeing her, pulling herself up on the crib rails, and I was like, oh, my God. And
What?
I've never experienced time dilation more heavily than when that happened, because I burst in that room and in that moment I could have been on a football club, because I slid and caught her as she was doing a header out of the thing. And then the worst part is, this tells you the level of trust I have in my kid and myself. I ended up right where that corner was, just putting a giant teddy, a huge one. And sure enough, it happened only one other time, but I saw her on the baby monitor and I didn't make it, and she flipped out onto the bear. She was like, boom. And I was like,
jeez,
I'm so smart. And then I was like, time to turn this into a toddler bed.
Nice.
That was when she got the toddler bed, and we went through the whole same thing, man. It is rough.
Fortunately, Kai shifted himself to go around feet first. He's not as daredevil as that.
You could say dumb. My kid is dumb.
He felt around, but when he had the sense, okay, I can make this and not really hurt myself, so I'm going to go for it. That's when we were like, damn it.
Well, I don't have any similar harrowing stories of children, because I don't have any children. I can at least contribute that during the last few months of our dog's life, we had to constantly stay awake and wake up multiple times a night because she could fall off the bed. And at her age, that could be really bad for her. So that's pretty much the closest I can say I've come to an experience like that. It's certainly not the same thing. So, I can't tell you about any experiences with children, but I can tell you about our sponsor for today, and that is, as always, The Game Orb. The Game Orb is a YouTube channel that brings commentary and gameplay footage from the Nintendo Switch and Xbox Series X gaming systems. While games like Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu can be seen on the channel, along with others, the Game Orb will also now be adding Splatoon 3, Super Mario Sunshine, and Fall Guys to the gaming collection. So be sure to subscribe to the Game Orb at the link in the description. And of course, as always, I have also pasted a link to their channel, or pinned a link to their channel at the top of our YouTube chat. So please do go show them all the love. They have been supporting us from the very beginning. So thank you so much, Game Orb, for all of your support. Also, we've got some birthday shout-outs, some patron birthday shout-outs. Jaden J. Diggity Buck's birthday is tomorrow, Saturday the 25th. So happy almost birthday to you. And then we've got 3 patrons sharing a birthday on God 26th. We've got Dr. Ryan, Sean, and Seesaw24 all sharing a February 26th birthday. So happy birthday to all of you.
Yeah, birthday, everyone. Jeez.
I hope you all have a wonderful birthday weekend and play lots of video games and do lots of fun stuff. But speaking of fun stuff, it sounds like your week has not been that fun, Steve.
Yeah, I'm very curious over that. I'm very curious
what's I for a long time have been getting like random headaches and having a bit of trouble breathing, and I thought it was allergies. So I went to my doctor today, and they referred me to a ear, nose, and throat guy. And I went there, and he looks at my ears, and they give me a hearing test, and they're all very serious about it. I'm like, this isn't good. I don't like it when people get serious about the things in my head. So they told me they thought I had hearing loss, and they're like, no, you don't have hearing loss. And I'm like, that's good. I would like to be able to hear for the rest of my life. But then they take a microscope and they stick it in my nose, and that is as uncomfortable as it sounds.
Yep. Okay.
And then they the guy starts rattling off a bunch of things. He's like, hey, you probably, when you get a cold, you can't breathe like at all, can you? And I was like, no. And he goes, and you probably snore a lot, right? And I'm like, yes. And he goes, your nose inside is like bent this way. And he's like, so what we need to do is shatter your nose.
Oh no.
Straighten it and put it back together. And I have to do it. Because they're like, you could literally die in your sleep from like ceasing to breathe.
Oh God.
And so
they can do it. Knock my ass out. I can't do it. Just knock me out.
But it is, so I called my mom to tell her the news. And this is where one of those moments where you're like, why didn't you tell me this when you made me? She's like, I had to have that done too when I was much younger. She's like, yeah, it sucks. It's really terrible. She's like, you're going to be recovering for months. So like, apparently, one, I'm going to have to like get my nose voluntarily broken and put back in place. And then two, I'm going to look like hell for those months that I'm recovering. Like, apparently I'm going to be bruised all over. My eyes are going to be red. I'm going to look like Ganon, basically, for like a solid month and a half. And it's going to hurt a lot. Like, there was nothing that they, like, my mom was like, this is going to be awful, and I'm going to fly out to help you recover. I was like, it's bad enough that I need my mom to come.
I'm having a hard time sitting still because I'm just thinking about it. It's making me so uncomfortable.
That's awful.
So you can't at least get knocked out,
before,
right?
So it's just, even the concept is just like, ugh.
Yeah, I've never broken anything serious. Like, I've broken my wrist, and that wasn't like a big deal, but apparently this one... This one's going to be bad. Like, people are saying it's going to look like I got in a fight with Little Mac, and that's probably true.
Quadzilla on YouTube chat, I had that operation when I was younger, and it took many months for the swelling to go down.
God.
So I'm going to look clown ass for a few months probably. So what I'm saying is to let you all know in advance. I don't know when it's going to happen. So tomorrow I have to go in and get a CAT scan like on my head so they can make sure there's nothing else in there that they're going to ruin. And then they will schedule me for like the surgery at some point. You can
at least get knocked out for this, right?
Yeah. They don't do it while you're conscious, but
thank God. Because all I can imagine is just like, okay, we have this tool, bam, just punch in the nose type thing. I was like, oh God,
I'm terrified. But yeah, that's what they're going to do at some point. So. But it's supposed to help me. Like,
you're really into Street Fighter 6. This is going a little far, I gotta say.
I know, right?
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna show up at Capcom and do some shoots afterwards.
Cassius 335 with a good suggestion actually in our live audience chat, asking, so does this mean, Steve, that you're just going to be a VTuber for a few months?
Probably. So realistically, that is the thing that I wanted to bring up. I don't want to take time off. I'll probably miss like the first GVG cast right after.
Dude,
but
you should miss the first few if you need to. Like,
well, yeah. I just figure like because they say that the recovery in terms of being able to like get out of bed and be a human being is like a few days, like 3 days or so. Okay. But then they say like the whole face looking like something that requires an age guard is a couple months. So. I'll probably camera off Voice of God for like a good chunk of the summer.
Okay.
Oh my God, I feel so bad for you.
Oh man,
Yeah,
I'm so sorry.
The funny part is, like, I was talking to him, I was like, how far out is it? And they're like, we don't know yet. And I was like, can we do this like after Zelda comes out? I really don't I don't want this to interfere with my ability to play Tears of the Kingdom.
Right. That's, I mean, obviously eyes on the prize. That's what's truly important here.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I won't know if I'm the Bokoblin or the Bokoblin is on the TV.
Oh my God.
Oh, man.
But yeah, so that's the news I got today. It kind of messed with my week. A lot of good stuff happened too, though. But yeah, not looking forward to it. Just not looking forward to it at all.
Of course not. Well, I'm so sorry. And obviously, when the time comes, man, there's no pressure here with us.
Oh yeah, no.
Whatever time you need to recover.
We'll see. I'll send you guys
man.
a selfie, and you'll be like, ah.
Oh God. Well, I'm actually I'm kind of having a nice time over here this week, or at least today, because I don't know. I'm sure some of you've already heard, but we here in Los Angeles are in the midst of a very rare winter storm, and I'm like talking 20-mile-per-hour winds, like sub 40-degree temperatures. There's snowfall not that far outside of LA, crazy rain, and you all know me. I'm crazy. I went out in it in this t-shirt, loved it just for a little bit, and I'm looking outside longingly at this crazy weather, and this is testament to how much I love you all, because I'm in here instead of out in my weather, which I'd never get in LA.
That's fair.
And yeah.
I was playing doing a fighter founder with one of our patrons, Leonito, earlier today, and we're like, where I'm at, it's shorts weather right now. It's like consistently 70 to 80 degrees right now. It'll dip down sometimes, but it has those days where it's like we can comfortably wear shorts. But I'm talking to them, and they're about an hour north of LA, and he said they got snow. I'm like, what the hell?
Yep. I saw Kit from Kit and Krista posting like he had a handful of snow, and he's like, I've never seen this before.
Right.
That's weird.
Oh man. Well, I know we still need to talk a little bit about what we've been playing. I know, Steve, one of the things you've been playing is something we're going to address in a patron topic later in the show. So we'll get to that when we get to it. But really quick, I think the three of us have all been playing Theater Rhythm Final Bar Line. Correct?
Yes.
And as I told you, Steve, before the show started, I think they have found a way to literally turn crack into a video game.
Yeah.
Because this is, for me, it is literally crack in video game form.
Oh,
I realized
Ash isn't the cocaine bear. He's the theater rhythm bear.
I'm the theater rhythm bear, yeah. No, I realized the other day that, like, had I the ability to take a week off, I don't, but let's just fantasize that I do. I literally could fill that whole week with nothing but eating, sleeping, and theater rhythm, and I wouldn't get tired of it. That's how just into this game. And I knew I would be because of Curtain Call in the original, but having it on the console, having it in a console-friendly format with all these new songs, it's like the definitive Final Fantasy rhythm game experience, or Square Enix rhythm game experience. And I can't.
And we got more songs coming. I've cleared, not cleared, but completed. No, it's completed when you actually do everything. Cleared Final Fantasy 1 through 10.
Wow.
Tactics and Mystic Quest.
Ooh,
I've been watching Kyle a lot because he's been awake so much. I've had time to play, so I've just been playing Theater Rhythm with him around, and he just hangs out with me.
Oh, that's a perfect.
That's the only reason I've had so much time for it.
Right. I've cleared a few. I've cleared all the ones that were in the demo. So like 2, 5, 7, 13, and 14. And then I've also cleared 10. And I think that's it. And I've started on 4. So I'm getting there. Unlocked a few random songs through like playing in the regular music mode, music stage mode, and also online. What's really cool is when you play online, you unlock songs that you don't have. If somebody else has a song that you end up playing, you get that song for yourself. Yeah. And I actually, and I can trade this to you guys or anyone in our community later, but I've been hanging out in the Resetera thread for Final Bar Line, and they're all trading these incredibly rare summon stones back and forth. And so very kind member earlier today just hopped on to trade an experience plus 90%.
Oh my God.
With me. Yeah. And later they're going to trade me a collect-a-card drop rate plus 110%.
Holy crap.
Summon stone. So I can trade those
with
to you.
An item drop rate plus 30%. That's my best one. My God.
I'll be happy to pass them both on to you and whoever in our community wants them, because it as you know, there's a lot of leveling up you can do. Tons of characters you can grind up to level 99 in Theater Rhythm, and having that plus 90%.
I've found out that the max level is not 99.
It's not. No.
There's stars afterward. That's like 100,000 experience each time. So the top level is 99 and 9 stars.
Right.
It's ridiculous.
I'll probably end up getting every character to level 99 just through the course of playing this game over time, because I'm never going to stop playing this game. But I don't think I'm going to 9-star 99 every character. There's no way that's going to happen. That's no way. But definitely check out the online when you can, whether it's with me, I'm trading to Summon Stone or not, because it's really good. It's really, it's high quality online play.
Great way to earn a bunch of rhythmia.
Yes, definitely. Well, we also have some super chats to read out, or at least a few of them. I'll get to the rest later on in the show before we get on to our news for the day. So first off, we've got $5 from Disney Duncan, who asks, with Redeads returning for Tears of the Kingdom, what other Zelda enemies do you hope to see in the game? Well, first of all, thank you, Duncan. And my answer for this is likes. They've always creeped me out. Yeah. They just creep me out the way they suck you in and eat your shield and spit you back out. And I would love to see a Breath of the Wild take on that monster.
God, with Tears of the Kingdom existing, like having such verticality to it, I would want floor masters. Like, I like the idea of like a hand that can just pick you up and carry you into the sky.
Are they floor masters or wall masters? Oh, did I have it wrong?
I think it's floor master.
Is it
not floor master?
I thought it was wall master. I could be wrong though.
There's a bunch.
Now I got it. Now I got to look it up. Hold on. I'm gonna look.
I mean, you'd think they'd be ceiling masters because they drop in from the ceiling, but you know.
Apparently, there are two variants: floor master and wall master are different enemies.
Oh, well,
okay,
perfect. They both exist. All right.
I'm trying to go obscure. I'm trying to go obscure here to see what we can go into. So I went Zelda 2 and just glancing through the enemies that like we could get. And you know what? Let's have Dairas coming in. There's those lizard looking guys with the axes. Have those come in.
Ooh, that would be cool.
Yeah, definitely.
More dinosaur like axe use. That'd be something interesting. Having come back, or you know what? Get dog like creatures. Get a Garaya.
Oh, good one. Good one. Yeah.
So.
Cool. Thank you for that question, Duncan, and for the super chat. Next up, we've got $50 from our good friend Aramis Barabas. Every week, you are so incredibly generous. Thank you. Hey, GVG crew, enjoy the cast. Odd question, but it's real easy to point out good summer games, winter games, or even fall games. Well, with March coming up, what makes a good spring game? Anyway, keep up the great work. Love Daniel's Symphonia video. Wish he was here to hear that, but I'll make sure to pass on the message.
Yeah.
For me, when I think spring, like spring video game, I think Sonic Team with the bright colors, the vivid environment.
That's a good one.
Yeah, like so Sonic Adventure, for example. But the one I'm really thinking of is Nights. Nights to me is like a really good spring game. Yeah, because it's so.
I guess so.
It's so vibrant, and so there's so much natural beauty and happy, upbeat, like music. It's just I don't know.
Ooh,
it's very sunny. It's a very sunny, happy, airy game. I guess that's how I see it anyway.
Oh, go ahead, Derrick.
I was just gonna say mine. I'd probably go Pikmin. I could see that being summer, but with the growing and everything, it comes across more spring to me.
I always think of Animal Crossing, and the reason I think of it is, even though it transcends like seasons, I always think about like the only season I'd really like to be outside that much in is spring, where the climate's so much better. But yeah, you guys nailed the other choices. The color palette's a big one. I think I associate Nights with winter because that's the time of year in which I played it.
Oh,
and so I think it just kind of
Christmas nights.
Nights.
Well, not just Christmas nights, but like I got Nights personally as a Christmas gift one year.
Okay.
And so I played through the whole game when it was dark outside.
Freaking that Alpha Lion Arms would make the perfect spring game.
Oh, where's Azran when you need him?
Yeah.
Also, Topaz Pikachu, good one. Kirby is a great. That Kirby makes me think of spring as well.
Spring Breeze.
Literally, he has he's called Spring Breeze. So also Klonoa of the Wind. It's kind of windy in spring. So all sorts of really happy, bright. Well, not happy in Klonoa's case, but bright, colorful games like that. Thank you very much, Aramis. Next up is $4.99 from our good friend Super Dang Awesome Unicorn Guy. Thank you so much. Won't be able to tune in live tonight. I have very urgent business to attend to. Have a great show, though. Well, thank you very much.
I think I know what his urgent business is tonight.
I do too. Yeah, it would be an even better show if you were here, but we hope you're having an all right night nonetheless. Next up, $2 from our friend Rec BCQ. Thank you. I just got a job interview. I'm excited about it. Well,
nice.
Awesome. Congratulations. Congrats. We are excited for you as well. Let us know how it goes. Keep us updated. We are crossing our fingers for you. I'm doing it right now. You can see me. Next up, last one for now. $10 from our friend Jaden Buck. Thank you very much. Crazy Question Fridays. Crazy question number 72. How many times have you had to delete something on your phone because you were running out of storage space? A few times here and there, but not often.
Man, barely ever.
Yeah, like maybe 3 or 4 times.
It's happened more recently because I've been taking a lot more pictures and photos, mainly of Kai. That happened.
Of course. Yeah.
Otherwise, it's like it didn't fill up that much at all because I don't get apps and
I
don't have a bunch of music on that, so it didn't fill up quick until I started taking pictures and videos of my son.
Of course,
I'm an easy mark for Apple, and so I end up buying like one of the higher end phones with more storage, and then I never use it. So,
I'm old school. This is an 8. I am so far behind.
Right.
Oh yeah. I hate to say it, but once they introduced like the ability to pay monthly, almost like subscribing to having a phone, I've always upgraded since then, and I hate myself for it so much.
I've always just paid it off because I'm like, that's weird.
That's the right thing to do. I'm just a bad person who wastes money.
I've hung on to my iPhone 11. I might upgrade sometime in the next couple of years, but honestly, it's still chugging along, and I have no problems with it. So it's just, as much as I love new tech, and as like you, Steve, I'm an easy mark for Apple tech.
Yeah.
I just can't justify upgrading until I really feel like I need to at this point. And I just don't need to yet. The 11 has been a really good phone. So.
Oh, yeah. I don't recommend doing what I do to anyone.
Right. Okay, well, that's the last super chat for now. I will read out the rest throughout the rest of the show, of course. But for now, let's get on to some news. And, of course, the big thing is, and, I put all sorts of Capcom characters on our thumb today because there was a state of play this week. We reacted to it yesterday, in fact. But it ended up being Capcom state of play. They completely stole the show.
I can't remember anything other than Chia.
Before Your Eyes was cool. Before Your Eyes, and Synapse. Like there was definitely some cool stuff there, but it really was the Capcom show at the end of the day because they came out swinging with 3 new Street Fighter 6 character reveals and a brand spanking new Resident Evil 4 trailer that showed us the new remake design of Lewis. And they said there's a special demo coming sometime soon. I hope I can't wait. And yeah, there's another little bit of Capcom news that has nothing to do with the state of play that we'll get to in a second. But for now, now that we've had a day to kind of reflect on everything, how are you guys feeling about what Capcom showed off there?
It was straight. Oh, Capcom. I mean, SF6 continues to impress.
Yeah. At this point, it's the that with those 3 characters, we now have the full roster.
It's the full launch roster for Street Fighter 6. So now, Season 1's DLC has been leaked. We won't talk about it here in case you don't want to be spoiled on that. But if you are curious about the first, I think, 5 or so DLC characters, you can find that information out and about. But yeah, we have the full launch roster now, and I have rewatched that new trailer a few times now, and I just Capcom's animation work is next level.
Yes.
I was watching Maximilian Dude earlier and seeing his reactions. And something he pointed out that I did not realize is there's body fat on these characters. So when they flex, you can actually see them bulk up and whatnot. I didn't even notice that before, but my God, it's like that kind of detail is cool. I didn't realize Lily was part of T-Hawk's tribe. That's cool.
Right. That's a cool connection.
And I'm ashamed at how long it took me to realize that Cammy's big move where she flips over and hits the knees was from the movie. I'm like,
I'm ashamed I didn't pick up on that.
I'm so mad at myself that I didn't realize that because that movie's fantastic.
Yeah.
And dumb, but fantastic.
Oh yeah. I agree on both counts.
Yeah, no, I could absolutely agree. I wish I had caught that reference as well the first time. I'm kicking myself that I didn't, but yeah, wow. And I'm loving Cammy's redesign. She looks so cool. And yeah, just the RE engine in general is it continues to prove itself time and time again. Capcom's animators are just at the very top of their game. And I have not been this excited for a new fighting game in quite a while. I'm really even a new Street Fighter game in quite a while. So I really cannot wait for this. What I can wait for is the other thing they spent about 15 minutes on in the state of play, which is not Capcom related. So Suicide Squad. I actually thought it looked kind of fun while the cool air movement, but then Wario64 pointed out after the show that this dumb game is going to require an internet connection at all times, even for solo play. And that takes the whole name of Suicide Squad and gives it a whole new meaning, because this game doesn't have a chance after that.
No. Well, that's the thing is as somebody pointed out, is like with how long development takes nowadays.
Yeah.
Live service games were very big. Now they're not. So it's just because development took so long, they're screwed. It's
such a shame. And I have to assume that this was a decision forced on Rocksteady, not one that Rocksteady made themselves. And I feel so bad for them, because you know they have to know that despite all their hard work, even people who were going to give the game a chance now might not, because of this particular point. And God, what a shame.
Oh God, the Oxen. Suicide Squad is coming a week or two after Zelda and shortly before Street Fighter 6. Yeah, screw this game. No chance. No chance.
Oh man, I feel really bad for that development team. Seriously.
Yep.
That's a shame. That's a shame. Well, you know it's also a shame? There's a little bit of a little tidbit of Capcom news that has nothing to do with the state of play or Evo. And there's a reason that I put X on the corner of the thumb today looking pissed off, because he reflects my own emotional journey that I've had since the Mega Man X Minecraft DLC pack was announced. So we can get a Gacha Field mobile game. We can get a Minecraft DLC pack, but we just can't get X9. I know that I should be happy that X is getting it. Mega Man X in general is getting any love, especially in something so high profile as Minecraft. I get that I should be happy about that, and some small part of me is, but I just want a new game. Why can't I just have a new game? And actually, we have a super chat who completely understands what I'm talking about. Hustle Bones, $4.99. Thank you so much. Hi, Capcom. I know you watch GVG. Thank you for the amazing library of games. Can you please announce Mega Man X9 for my birthday? I miss my boy Blue. What else can I say?
I mean, Ash, as a Mega Man fan, as an X fan that's been wanting a new game for a long, long time, after seeing this, I have to imagine your only question was, what am I fighting for?
Yeah, that I have thought about that a few times, and it's actually quite relevant actually, because John and Brandon and I have been we've been doing some fun like voiceover stuff, just like experimenting with voiceover stuff, and we are actually going to be overdubbing the famous or infamous "What Am I Fighting For" scene from X4, and so I can really use this experience to genuinely make it that much more emotional, because I really have come to wonder what I actually have been fighting for as a Mega Man fan all these years. You can't make this stuff up. A Minecraft pack, like what?
If you guys are doing that scene, I'm curious how you'll compare it to Johnny Young Bosch, because I know he's redubbed. He's actually done that line as well. It makes the show it could work.
Oh, it really does. He did a great job, and Lucas Gilbertson, I believe his name is, who also did Zero before. He also did a version of that scene, and he crushed it as well. So I think Johnny Young Bosch's version is for Teppen, because there's a version of that scene in Teppen that's referenced.
Right.
And then Lucas Gilbertson, who I think voiced Zero in X8 and X7, he did his own version as well. And they're both great. But yeah, so that happened. I know there's not much to say about it other than, damn it.
Yeah, it's poor Ash.
But yeah, it's just the poor Ash segment of the show. But there is no way I wasn't going to put X on the thumb looking pissed off.
I have to ask if you have or if you plan on trying it, though.
Not really.
I mean, why not, though? Okay, so I have to put you on the spot here.
It's just a skin. It's just a skin.
Yeah, but Ash said if they added X to Fortnite, he would play it. And I feel like this is almost the same scenario.
I play shooters. I have played shooters. I'm fine playing shooters. I just have zero desire to mine or feel
like there's an opportunity we're missing here. Like if Daniel can suffer through Tales of Symphonia, you could suffer through this.
Fair enough. Maybe I should do it then. Maybe I should create or get some version of Minecraft. I don't even own Minecraft on any platform. That's how little I care about it. I can get it, and then I could try the DLC. Yeah, maybe I'll do that on like a Twitch stream or something.
There you
just
go.
Play around with it, but. I just want a new Mega Man game, guys, especially an X game.
I played the Mario DLC in Minecraft, and it was so bad.
Becca says it's on Game Pass.
Oh, it's on Game Pass. Perfect. Okay, everything's on Game Pass. And yeah, Alpha Line, you're right. I did download Dragalia Lost for Mega Man, so that is a good point. And I have said I would do Fortnite if Mega Man were ever added to that. So I hear you.
I don't want to hear you.
It just rubs salt in the wound. And
I mean, maybe they'll be kind to you, Ash, and Dead Cells will get a DLC related to Mega Man X.
Oh man, right? I want to play that DLC.
Me too.
I'm not even the world's biggest Castlevania person, and I really want to play that.
I've never played Dead Cells. So it's like, man, there's a lot to that game as well. They've released so much.
I played. Speaking of Castlevanias and the like, I played that Galgun game you talked about last week.
Oh, how is it?
God damn, is it good? It is
nice.
So good. The two characters have such unique abilities, and they're so much fun to swap between. And then if one dies, you can take on the other one and find them and revive them. It feels like if Symphony of the Night were modernized a bit, but it still has some very familiar things like 2D artwork with various 3D elements. All the doors are these chunky polygonal doors. It feels nice. It's really fun. And the idea of having a machine gun character and a melee character together, it's good. Cool. It's really
I want to try it. I love Inti Creates his work in general, so I really have been eyeing Grim Guardians for a while. I want to try it.
Yeah.
The full game, for those who don't know, it's Grim Guardians Demon Purge, which is somehow a spin-off of Galgun.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. Well, really quick, we won't spend too much time on this, but Steve, as the other resident fighting game fan alongside me here, I wanted to get your thoughts on EVO's lineup for 2023. They've announced it. They got Street Fighter 6, Guilty Gear Strive, Dragon Ball FighterZ, Tekken 7, King of Fighters 15, Melty Blood, MK11 Ultimate, and for a throwback tournament, Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Does this have you hyped at all, or how are you feeling about this lineup?
I'm very hyped for this. One,
me too.
Thank God SF5 is not getting another year on this. I'm not an SF5 person.
Yeah.
I'm glad that they're just moving on to 6 as soon as humanly possible, especially because EVO is happening, I think, either before or just after SF6 comes out. It's very close.
It should be after because it comes out in June, and EVO's usually early August.
Oh, that's right. I was trying to watch the stream, and my kids were like, "Dad, turn this off. It sucks." And I will say I didn't like a whole lot of the Sony influence on the stream, unfortunately. It felt very shoehorned in sometimes. They're like, the official headphone of EVO. And then the guys who are there to talk about fighting games are talking about how great these headphones are. I'm like, I don't care.
Just talk about fighting games.
Yeah, just talk about the games. But I think the lineup is really good. Dragon Ball FighterZ definitely deserves to have kind of unseated Marvel, because Capcom can't seem to pull together a better MVC game anymore. I would have much preferred MVC 2 to 3. I think 3 is a good game, but 2's a legendary game.
Of course.
I love seeing the high level play on 2. To me, it's just much more dynamic and interesting to watch. But that being said, it'll be cool to see Justin Wong back at a game that he's very good at. Yeah. And I think it's overall a strong lineup. I think that some of those games are starting to age out, but there's nothing to replace them. They just announced MK12 on a friggin' earnings call.
Right.
Yeah. It's a shame that Tekken 8 wouldn't be out by that point.
Right.
Yeah. This will be the last year for Tekken 7, which it's easy to forget, but this is actually Tekken 7's 7th appearance at EVO. I sometimes forget how long Tekken 7 has been the current Tekken game.
Yep.
That's crazy.
I think Tekken Cross Street Fighter blew that up a little bit. The fact that they went in and tried to make it and canned it, I think it threw the whole pipeline off for a while.
Mm-hmm.
But this should mean interesting things for next year's lineup, because this is undoubtedly now Tekken 7 and Mortal Kombat 11's final year at EVO. Because next year it'll be 8 and 12 respectively.
Right.
So and just what a great time to be alive for fighting game fans in general. And just in this year alone,
3 big ones. My God.
Street Fighter 6, MK12, and Tekken 8. Now, of course, 12, we hope it makes it this year, but they did say in that earnings call that it's planned for this year. So, it could always get delayed, but hopefully not, and we see it soon. But yeah, lots of goodness for fighting game fans this year, and I'm loving it. What is not so great for Nintendo fans this year, including all of us right here, Nintendo has confirmed that they won't be at E3 this year. Now, of course, they're going to have like an E3.
I mean, we kind of knew that already. It's just confirmation.
It's just confirming it,
whatever.
But to see it for sure confirmed, just twist the knife a little bit, because I was so excited for all of us to be able to get together for the first time, the whole team in person, and cover E3 together. And that's just, I think Steve and I, you and I still plan to go.
Yeah, I applied today.
Yeah, so I'll apply this weekend, and you and I can go. But yeah, it doesn't make sense to get the whole team together anymore if the big three, and particularly Nintendo, aren't going to be there. But it's a damn shame.
Yeah, it really is. I'm curious as to what I'm going out of morbid curiosity, or maybe because
you like going to dead shows.
Yeah,
yeah. It's like, what does E3 look like without them? Because I can't think of an E3 without Nintendo in my history of not just covering, but like, interacting with E3 even as a fan. Like, I can't remember Nintendo ever skipping, and so that's kind of crazy. But I want to reiterate that I think this is not because of a perceived lack of faith in the show. I think 2024 will be really telling as to what Nintendo specifically does with E3. Because, again, I think this is... Nintendo just doesn't have the stuff to show to make it worth going. I think they have plenty of releases, but not your big E3 showcase game. I think that was Tears of the Kingdom, and it'll be out by then.
Right.
So why spend millions upon millions and move all these people all over the globe when you don't have like a tentpole experience to show off, because it's probably knee deep in development for whatever the Switch successor is. And until Nintendo talks about that, they're not gonna throw a lot of weight behind anything Switch related, in my opinion, at this point.
Right. And clearly they're not ready to talk more about Metroid Prime 4 yet, and I don't think you can anchor an E3 presence around Pikmin 4. As cool as it looks, I don't think you can anchor a whole show around it.
No, not at all.
So, yeah, it's and as Hustlebun points out in our live audience chat, Nintendo also doesn't need E3. They can spend a lot less money and reach directly to their audience through a direct if they want to do that and time it with E3. But it's so much cheaper and so much easier.
I disagree, man. I disagree. So I have this story that I've trotted out a few times, and I'll trot it out again just to kind of underline what I think some of the value of E3 is, even for big guys like Nintendo. I was previewing, and I can't even remember what game it was, but I was like previewing a game in the VIP section of Ubisoft's booth at E3 one year. And I was like shell-shocked because in walks Bill Trinan, Reggie, and Miyamoto all together, and they go to meet with Ubisoft people at E3. And I find out later that that's how Starlink was born. Like, that's how they got Star Fox into Starlink. Mm-hmm. Okay. Like, Miyamoto had been walking around the floor, saw like a prototype of Starlink without any Star Fox shit, and he was like, okay, this is kind of cool. I want to meet the people who are making it. And they made the deal right then. Like, oh, wow. So I think there is value in it because obviously, people come to these shows and they see things and they meet with people. And there's a whole lot of E3 beyond just the games that happens there. Like, Nintendo meets with people from GameStop and Target and other retailers to talk about like, hey, this is what we've got coming, letting you know this way. And so they could do those things differently, but I think Nintendo does glean some value. I just think this is a year in which they are intentionally on their back foot because they're waiting to kind of show what they have planned. But I think those plans post Zelda are thin on the ground.
Right. Mm-hmm. Well, and I actually agree with you. I didn't mean to imply that they don't benefit from E3. I just was just reading what Hustlebun said word for word, which was need. I don't think they necessarily need it.
No,
but
I don't think
could
anybody
they benefit from it. Absolutely.
Yeah. I don't think anybody needs to go to LA to play video games.
Right.
But
and as Soulcaster says, it's good for indies and networking, which is very true. Very true. Yep. Yeah. Well, what's really interesting about E3 this year, actually, potentially interesting, because this is a rumor, but we might be heading to a dead E3, Steve, that the most important or most exciting presence there is ironically Konami. If these rumors, according to the VGC podcast, are true, Konami is apparently planned to have a pretty big E3, and what that means, according to this rumor, is a new Castlevania, Metal Gear Solid 3 remake, and that remake may be used as a test bed for the series' future. Now, I don't know what weird, wild 2023 we're living in, but it would be strange to head to an E3 where Konami is the most exciting part of it again.
I am taking this with a huge grain of salt because I don't think VGC is the most accurate when it comes to these sort of things.
And we should point that out. This is definitely heavily rumored, like, take with all the salt, not just a grain, not just a dose, a whole heaping helping of it.
I agree. I think they're reporting
this is just sort of so it's claimed.
But imagine if it's true, though. Imagine how cool that would be.
I'm really interested just in the layout of the show at this point. Like, one, it's Reed Pop's first E3, and I've always said it. I think Reed Pop does shows much more organized than E3 does, or than the ESA did on their own. I've never liked the badging system at E3. I've never liked how they manage attendee stuff. I never liked the long queue to get inside. So I hope that Reed Pop is taking a look at that stuff and improving it. Right. I will say the registration process way easier. They didn't ask me for a business card or a driver's license. Wow. None of that.
Oh, that's good to know. I'm glad to hear that. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So I will say they improved that. And hopefully they don't, throw my address in a text document for everyone to grab off the internet.
Right.
Oh God. Yeah.
But I'm excited. And plus I think the real value of E3, at least for the exhibitors, is the people that come from all over to get there, like the media professionals. Because I don't know about you guys, but I don't hear nearly as much about preview or review events since COVID.
Mm-hmm. I miss them, but I don't. They're not as big a deal. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. So it is, as Hustlebun also pointed out, VGC definitely does not have the most or the cleanest track record. So certainly take all this with a grain of salt, but I wanted to bring it up just as a what if. It could possibly be right. They do sometimes hit it right. And if it is, MGS3 Remake and a new Castlevania would be so exciting.
It would, but again, I am tempering my expectations.
Totally. And if it is a new Castlevania, it's probably going to be a new 3D Castlevania, which, I'd rather get a 2D one. But
honestly, that's not a bad thing.
No, it doesn't have to be. I know you really like Lords of Shadow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, next thing really quick here is we're getting a new Pokemon Presents on Monday. Derrick, you already delivered your predictions for that. And this is happening at 6 a.m. at Pacific time, which kill me now. So looking forward to that. And I'm actually going to be trying to finish Violet this weekend because, as Daniel pointed out before, if we do get the announcement of Scarlet and Violet DLC, it might spoil the end game of Scarlet and Violet, which everybody keeps telling me is incredible. So I'm almost there. I just have to beat the champion. And so I'm going to try to make that happen this weekend. So I'm ready at 6 a.m. on Monday for some DLC announcements. But there's also a little bit of other Pokemon news I wanted to highlight here. And that is that the brand new Pokemon animated series will not be going without Pikachu at all, really. So we're saying goodbye to Ash and Pikachu, but now we're saying hello to a new character named Friede and his partner, Captain Pikachu. So, they knew what they were doing. They weren't going to go without Pikachu for that long.
No, of course they were not going to go without Pikachu.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to the Pokemon Presents. Maybe we'll get some or a reveal of the Game Boy games or Game Boy Advance games coming to NSO. That would be really exciting. So, which I'm sure you covered in your video as well, Derrick.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my hope. I think somebody hacked the NSO Game Boy emulator and confirmed that link cable functionality exists within the emulator.
They discovered that before the Game Boy was even confirmed. So, I think that's definitely going to be the big thing.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
we'll see.
Either way, should be a fun Pokemon Presents. Hopefully, as I said, I've been really enjoying Gen 9, and despite the technical problems, and I am actively in Gen 8, I was kind of in the background. I didn't play it, so I was kind of like, oh, the DLC, cool, whatever. I'm not really invested. This time, I'm invested. I'm looking forward to what they add to Scarlet and Violet. So we'll see. Last thing, really quick, I just wanted to have a quick moment of silence. Rest in peace to the original PlayStation logo's sound creator, Tohru Okada, who passed away at 73 years old due to heart failure, I believe. So that, of course, is an iconic sound for all of our childhoods, I think. And so just wanted to say, condolences to Mr. Okada's friends and family, and thank you for bringing us such an iconic sound that rang throughout our childhoods. And with that, Moment of silence. Let's go ahead and move on to a few more super chats, and then we will move on to our patron topics. So first off, we've got Jacob Tucker with $5. Thank you very much. Hey, GVG crew, just wanted to share that Alt-Rank compiled their first official tier list for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Interesting placements there. Yeah, so thank you for that. I haven't had a chance to really dig into it and look, but
I'm insulted that Zelda's a D+.
And Kirby. Ooh. Kirby's also considered not a very good character in Ultimate. Fortunately, my blue boy is sitting pretty in the A- tier. He's considered one of the better characters in the game. But yeah, Kirby, unfortunately, Zelda, yeah, not so hot in Ultimate. Of course, it doesn't really matter when you're playing anything lower than a professional level. But yeah, unfortunately, not highly ranked characters. I think Steve and Joker are the top ranked characters,
and Pyra and Mithra.
And Pyra and Mithra, of course. So yeah, thank you for that, Hustle Bones. Really appreciate that. Or sorry, Jacob, sorry about that. Next up, Gantoris with $5. Thank you. Happy Octopath Traveler 2 Day. If you are picking up the game, who do you think your starting character will be? I'm going with Particio because hat. Now, I do like his hat. I want to get Octopath Traveler 2. I just don't have time to play it right now, but I do intend to play it eventually. And I think I'll probably use or go with the Apothecary first, because that's what I did in 1. I really liked Alphen as a character, and I played the demo, and I chose the Apothecary for the demo, and I really was enjoying her story. So I feel bad that I can't remember her name right now, but
I haven't picked up the demo. I haven't been able to play the demo yet, so I don't really know any of the characters. So I don't know. It's going to be a while till I get the Octopath 2. I have to pick and choose my games that I pick up. So
I totally hear that. And I mean, and Casti has a large hill to climb to outcool Alphen, in my opinion, but I still had to go with the Apothecary first, just because I liked him so much in Octopath 1. Steve, are you going to pick it up?
Octopath, probably not. It's I talk about how my time for gaming is limited already, and picking up RPGs in particular is daunting. And this month has just been crazy. When you cover hardware, like everybody who's making a game for that hardware somehow finds out. And they're like, hey, look at my game. So I think I'm up to like 30 games in contention for Game of the Month at this point, of which I've played a little bit of many games. And so throwing Octopath on top of that, just I couldn't give it a fair shake or enough time. Also because I just picked up Ishin, which I really want to play.
Oh, of course. Like a Dragon.
Yeah.
But don't forget, you have a pretty easy answer for Game of the Month waiting in the wings if you need it. And that, of course, is Theater Rhythm. Just saying.
Just saying.
So, I mean, the thing is, Primary Mastered also came out, although I can't find the damn thing physically.
Yeah, y'all are going to find out in just a few days for Game of the Month. But right now, it's looking like Metroid Prime and Theater Rhythm are pretty high up there in terms of the games. Nice. I got to say, though, it's really hard. I have conflicted feelings about nominating a game that is a re-release, and that's where
true.
I get that.
I struggle with that because but it's also been 20 years, which
right I know. God, tell me about it. Well, thank you for that, Gantoris. Very much appreciate it. Next up is $5 from Behan. Thank you, Behan. My first exposure to Ash's work came years ago when he reviewed Final Fantasy X-2 at launch for some site and took time to bring up his dad doing a voice in it. Wow, that brings me back. I don't even remember. Was that for Examiner or Games Are Fun? I don't even know what. I've worked for so many different sites. I used to write and do like written coverage, and I did for so many different websites. So I don't know exactly what my 10-2 review is for, but I remember it, and that brings me back. And yes, my dad, he actually does 2 voices in 10-2. He did Leon Ronzo and Tobley. So he did 2 different characters in that game. So
I was just looking at because I had no idea he was in there. I'm like, who the heck did he voice?
Yeah, so definitely side characters, but if you know what to listen for, you can definitely tell it's him.
Little kid Rondo and Beak Face Kid.
Okay. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Well, thank you for that trip down memory lane, Behan. And next up is Hustlebones with $1.99. Thank you again. Thank you, Hustlebones. Marvel versus Dragon Ball. Imagine.
Oh, Marvel wins every time. I love Dragon Ball, but Marvel takes it.
I'm surprised to hear you say that.
I don't think they're meaning that. I think it's literally crossover game.
Oh,
with the
if
Marvel
it's a fighting
characters
game,
versus Dragon Ball.
hell yes. Oh my god. But to be fair, just Marvel has too many people who like break the rules of the universe. Like,
right, that's fair. Yeah.
but I would say
you've watched Dragon Ball. There's a lot of people that break the rules.
Oh yeah, but I mean like if you have Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet, he can just snap people out of existence, right? And that kind of shit I think is what would happen. Like if you write Marvel into too much of a corner, but a game, oh, I would be there for that. Are you kidding me? I mean, if they can do X-Men versus Street Fighter, they can mix Dragon Ball and regular Marvel characters, and it'd be a lot of fun. I think that would be an awesome game. But again, Arc System Works needs to do this. I think they need to just take over the mantle of these over-the-top crossover style fighting games.
Yeah.
Right. Well, that's it for now for Super Chats. Of course, if any more come in, I will read them out at the end of the show. But for now, it's time to move on.
There is one more, Archangel 23XX.
Oh, did that come through? I missed it. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then we can go ahead and do that one now. Oh, I see now. Archangel 23XX. Thank you very much with $10. Couldn't catch the show live. Gonna watch later. Just wanted to say that I love what you guys do. Been watching you since the Wii U days. Hope you all have a great weekend and happy gaming, everyone. Well, thank you so much for the kind words. Same to you, Archangel. I hope you have a lovely weekend and play lots of great games. All right. Well, as I said, if any more Super Chats come in, I will read them at the end of the show. But for now, it's time for our Patron topics. As a reminder, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/GVGaming. And if you back us at the producer tier for $10 a month, you can suggest topics for us to discuss each week, just like the ones we're about to talk about now. And Steve, why don't you get us started this week, man?
All right, let me adjust my imaginary glasses here. So mine comes from somebody who bailed, unfortunately, but because he had important business. But Super Dank, awesome unicorn guy writes, "Why are you guys doing an episode tonight? Didn't you hear that Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe is out today? If that's not enough to make you guys kill the stream," it's not, sorry. Then what's your favorite Kirby copy ability and why? And I do want to say I've played just a tiny bit. Like I played 1-1 of Return to Dreamland Deluxe today. Because like I said last week, I'm saving it so I can play with my kids, but I couldn't resist. And so I had to try it. And holy hell, I love it. It's so good. I did not expect it to be that much fun.
It's awesome.
To answer your question, though, and it's going to be related to Dreamland Deluxe, the level 2 sword ability in Dreamland Deluxe might just be my new favorite because Kirby summons all these different blades. Like each time you use it, it's a different sword. And I absolutely love it. I thought it was amazing.
I am looking forward to playing that. So you didn't play the original on Wii, right, Steve?
I may have. I'm going to be honest.
Oh, okay.
I like that. The Wii era is such a blur of me downloading things that I shouldn't and playing them because I was broke. I'm confident I tried almost every Wii game at some point.
God.
Well, I played the original version on Wii with my wife. We played through it together, and we had a blast. It's definitely one of the best 2D Kirby games, in my opinion. And I know for Super Dank Awesome Unicorn Guy, I think it is their favorite game of all time, if I'm not mistaken. I think he mentioned to me that it is his all-time favorite game. Came out at a very important part in a very important time in his life. And I love this game, and I cannot wait to revisit it with the new graphical style, the more cel-shaded style with the thick outlines. If you look at them side by side, it really got it more of a glow up than you realize than if you aren't looking at them side by side. It looks great. And there's a new Magolor epilogue too after you beat the game, so there's something even for us returning players. And I don't know when exactly I'll fit it in, but like you, I am quite excited about it.
Yeah.
Amy's son was very excited about it, so he actually picked it up. But I gave him a little bit of money so I could chip in and play it at some point. But right now he's running through it, so I haven't touched it myself. But he's really enjoying it, so that's cool.
Nice.
Well, once I can put down Theater Rhythm, if I ever can put down Theater Rhythm, I will definitely be checking out Kirby as well. Well, cool. Thank you for that, Super Dank Awesome Unicorn Guy. Really appreciate it. And that was the game I was talking about earlier that we were going to talk about later. Don't worry, we didn't forget about it. It was Kirby. We didn't forget. Derrick, you're up, man.
Mine comes from Goron Amber, who says, after Tears of the Kingdom, is there a previous Zelda game you'd like to see get a direct sequel next? Any specific gimmick or unique setting in mind? And I mean, it took me about 2 seconds to think of this. Spirit Tracks.
You took
Spirit Tracks is so much fun. Having that world of Zelda have a little bit more technology, and you kind of get that with Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, but having it more like conventional technology and having Zelda mix in with that is very interesting to see. So to see more of that world and developing of Hyrule into like a new Hyrule into like a Steam nation could be very interesting, especially because Ganon's gone in this. Like, just like come up with new stuff, new ideas. I think there's a lot of fun that you could have. Like, people were weirded out at the time about having a train in Zelda, you know, when it came out, but I think people are more open to it. Yeah, give me a direct sequel to Spirit Tracks, and I don't know, have Steam variations or unique takes on classic weaponry, just all be different. That's sort of your gimmick.
Would you want it to be like a direct sequel, as in the same Link in Zelda, or like 100 years later with a new generation?
Probably new generation type thing. Okay. I mean, I guess it's direct sequel is. I guess direct sequel would still work. It's having it more of that, and they're good ones. But yeah, still good stuff.
Well, unfortunately, that was kind of my answer too. But I guess I'll take it in a slightly. Yeah, I mean, I'll take it in a slightly different direction, I guess. So, as y'all know, the Wind Waker, that timeline, that is my favorite version of the Zelda mythos. I love, Hero of Wind's Link. I love that version of Zelda. I love Tetra. I didn't like Phantom Hourglass, but I love Spirit Tracks. And so I agree. I want to return to that timeline, the adult timeline, and just explore more of New Hyrule. As you said, Derrick, Ganon's gone. So there, there's Malladus and all these other villains now. So you can just create new villains. You don't have to have Ganon, of course. But I guess I'll deviate from your answer by saying I don't necessarily know that it needs to be a sequel to Spirit Tracks in a gameplay sense, such that I don't know that trains need to come back. Like you, I didn't mind that. I thought they were fine. The train tracks, and people were like, "Oh, it's too linear." I didn't mind that. But I don't necessarily think they need to come back. I would just like to explore New Hyrule and what is there to find there? Like, what existed in their land of New Hyrule that they're settling before they got there? What mysteries, what dangers might be lurking, hidden out of sight because they just arrived there and they're settling this new land. And so I feel like there's so much mythology they could create around this land of New Hyrule that they're settling. And as you said, if you do an 100-year time jump, then that gives you even more creative possibilities. But that's just by far my favorite Zelda timeline and mythos. And I want to see that continue. I want that timeline to continue. Will it happen? Never, probably. No. But I'd like it. What about you, Steve?
Man, so mine is darker.
Okay.
I want a sequel to Majora's Mask, specifically though, because I want to find out how it ties to Twilight Princess. Because if you remember, the hero's shade in Twilight Princess is the hero of time, and so that I want to know one. And they imply that the hero of time was upset that the world no longer saw him as a hero because he basically undid all the bad things that were going to happen. And so you get this version of Link who arguably could be taken down a very dark path, like who, is upset with the world that he saved and clearly becomes a much more capable swordsman after he defeats Ganon, like, because he teaches Link 7 techniques that he didn't know in Ocarina of Time or Majora's Mask. So he did some stuff after the series, after those stories ended. Yeah. So I want one there where it's like Link is kind of just an anti-hero.
Oh, I like that idea.
I mean, I remember a while ago there was a very well done YouTube video on how Ocarina of Time Link was the most tragic Link, and how the fact that there is dialogue in Ocarina of Time saying how people that become lost in the Lost Woods eventually turn into Stalfos, which is how he looks in Twilight Princess.
That's a good point.
Because he's constantly on the look for Navi, and Navi represents his childhood. He lost his childhood thanks to all the events. He can't go back to being just a kid. That's the issue with him now. Not that he's like disgruntled, and I never heard him not being happy that he never got the recognition. Never seen Link care about that, but he lost his childhood because of this adventure, and he goes seeking for it, and that's why he becomes a Stalfos at the end, because he's just constantly looking in the Lost Woods and can't find Navi. And I think there's still interesting stuff you can do with it.
Oh yeah,
I love that. I mean, that is a dark Zelda game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want a sad ending in a Zelda game for once.
I mean, imagine if that ending, you know, I don't know if you could do both. I don't know if you could necessarily get like an older disgruntled Link who learns all these sword techniques, but also have the really tragic element of Hero of Time Link as a kid who lost his childhood, ultimately just becoming a Stalfos at the end of the game. That I don't know if you can have both in the same story. Maybe you can. I'm trying to figure out a way that you could. But either one of those approaches, I agree with you, Steve. Like, I love mine and Derrick's idea, but I love yours too. I would love to have a sequel to Majora's Mask exploring exactly that and exploring this really, unfortunately, very sadly tortured Link. He's a very tortured version of this character. And he really gets, not even the short end of the stick, he just gets screwed completely. It's a really sad ending for him.
Ocarina of Time Link has the worst by far.
Yeah. Well, that was a great question. Thank you, Amber. Really appreciate that. And then my topic this week comes from Blindman, who says, so mom is going to Italy for her birthday trip. It's going to be tough not calling her. Have any of you been outside the U.S.? Any coping advice? And I thought this is an interesting one because I love traveling. I've made no secret of that. And I'm very lucky to be very well traveled. And I've been outside the U.S. multiple times. And so I just kind of wanted to touch on that. You say you're not going to be able to call her, but, you know, just so you're aware, anytime she's got Wi-Fi access, you guys could FaceTime. You guys can, like, you know, it isn't impossible to reach somebody who is outside of the U.S. And you can still not have to pay crazy roaming fees. So hopefully you're aware that as long as she's somewhere with Wi-Fi, you two can FaceTime and you don't have to, cope with not talking to her for however how long she's going to be there. But Italy is beautiful. I'd be curious to know where in Italy she's going. I've been to Treviso and Venice. They're both beautiful. Venice is out of this world. It's so pretty there. And I kind of wanted to get a feel for your travel experiences too, guys.
So I've only been out of the country once. I went to Denmark, which I did a GX video for. Like, I was at Lego.
Oh, right. I remember that.
Oh, yeah.
And I definitely did not expect anxiety to creep up on me the way it did. Like, knowing my kids were like half a planet away, like that hit me really hard. So, what I started doing was, because also and there's more to it. Time zone differences can play into it as well, right? Like, you might not be able to stay up super late or get up super early to talk to someone. So I started recording videos on my phone, like, throughout my day, and I would text them so that my kids would have something to wake up to and hear from me and see me. And they were doing the same for me. Like, they would make a short little video clip for me to tell me how they were doing and what was going on at school for the couple days that I was there. And that really helped me. But it's really wholesome that you care so much.
Yeah, I think so too. No, and that's a great. Oh, go ahead, Derrick, and I'll piggyback.
Well,
off Steve
I was just going to say I've only left the country once, and that was for my trip to Japan way back after college. Lovely trip, gone for a week and a half. But I also had the advantage that, well, because my mom was helping to pay for it, college graduation present and all that, she went with me, so it was the two of us together. Cool. I didn't see my dad and my sisters, but this was back in 2008, so Wi-Fi wasn't exactly set up as well as it is now, so we just got long distance calls on occasion and called them like twice. But it's you get so, I mean, she'll be gone, you aren't the one going, so that makes it a little tougher. But when you're the one on the trip, it's easy to just be like, yeah, I'm okay with this. Not to saying that she'll forget about you or anything like that. I'm just saying that if you're in that situation, it becomes a little easier. But as far as coping, yes, it's a lot easier to keep in contact thanks to the suggestions Ash made. So
yeah, you can use WhatsApp, you can use FaceTime, you can use whatever. But as long as she has access to Wi-Fi, and you both do, you can talk you don't have to pay any crazy roaming fees or anything like that.
Yep.
But to piggyback off what Steve said, you made a great point. I do find it much easier for me to travel internationally when I'm with my wife. When I'm traveling without her, it is very, there's an element of anxiety. I love traveling regardless, but when I know that my favorite person in the world is half a planet away,
I'm only in Arizona,
Steve.
Ash.
You caught me. But when I know she's half a planet away, it's a very scary, isolating thought. And I definitely struggle with that during my recent trip to the UK because I had to be there for about 2.5 weeks, and that's a long time to be away from the love of your life. And so we talked every day, of course, but it definitely was not as wildly, amazingly fun traveling internationally without her, obviously, than it is with her. So there's definitely an element of sadness and missing home, and even when you're talking to your loved one every day, like I'm sure you will try to, Blindman, it's still hard, it's still sad, you still miss them. So clearly, obviously video chatting isn't just a panacea for your loved one being in another country, for sure. So that's a great point, Steve. I traveling, thank you. But yeah, traveling with your loved ones is a lot different than traveling without them. So yeah, but I just love traveling. I think everybody should travel as much as they can before they get too many responsibilities. It's just such a wonderful experience to have. Maybe not for everybody, but I feel like there's really no faster way to learn about yourself and learn about the world around you than by seeing how other people live, just like other cultures and other ideologies. And it's such a just enriching experience, in my opinion. But yeah, so that's why I chose your topic, Blindman, because we haven't really gotten to talk about travel much on the show. So thank you so much for that. And that does bring us to the end of our Patreon topics. Once again, patreon.com/GVGaming. If you support us at the producer tier, you can suggest topics for us to discuss each week, just like the ones we just talked about now. And that brings me to a few remaining super chats for the rest of the episode, and then we will head on to our patron exclusive post show. So first off, we've got Love Hugh with $5. Well, 2 super chats from Love Hugh, both for $5. Thank you so much. The first one, hey y'all, what game franchise would you want to have a prestige TV show? I pick Star Fox. Just make them human and all super hot. Nice. I've said this before. I don't know if anime counts for your question, but if it does, give me literally the Day of Sigma extrapolated into a full Mega Man X anime. And I picked that too because we're talking about X today, damn it. And I figured, why not bring him up again? What about you guys?
Prestige show. That's tough. You know what? I'm just looking over at my library just to get an idea. Odin Sphere. I think Odin Sphere would be interesting. Definitely family politics and whatnot.
Definitely.
Steve?
That's tough. I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, the obvious ones that pop into my mind are like Metroid and Zelda, but I'm like, yeah, they're not so great on story, really. Like, I don't know that I could hang out for a TV show unless they significantly reworked it. God,
the prestige part is also the tough one.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, if I could just say, oh, TV, then I'd say like a Metroid cartoon or a CGI show. Boy. You know what? Horizon. I would love to see a show based on Horizon.
That'd be good. Rusty McTin. Good suggestion. Tactics Ogre or Final Fantasy Tactics by extrapolation.
Ooh, that'd be good. FFT would be so good as a show. I wish I'd thought of that.
Yeah,
just change it to Evilise and have it all the Evilise stories. Get man.
I could maybe see a Yakuza TV show being really cool.
Prestige, though, I've seen clips. I don't know if it'd be prestige.
You could play it has the main stories are usually pretty serious. It's the side stories that are goofy, right?
So, yeah, but I think if I had a Yakuza TV show, I would want some of that like over the top, really campy combat in it.
Okay,
because I laugh every time I bust someone with a chair in that game.
Yeah. Oh, Captain Kostia, good point. I'd love to see the Netflix Castlevania team take a crack at Metroid. Hell yes, I would love that.
See, that's the thing. Like, I think about Metroid and I'm like, it could work in live action, but as an anime it would be top tier. Like, it would be a top shelf anime. Definitely.
Rec BCQ says Xenoblade anime, political drama for Final Fantasy Tactics. Yeah, lots of great ideas here. Thank you all so much. And then Love Hugh's second super chat is, did you all know that Stephanie Johnston, or Judeston, she played Quiet in Metal Gear Solid 5, made a disco album produced by Giorgio Moroder. Some of the tracks are in Wanted Dead. I had no idea. Thank you for that.
Not a clue. That's
bit of knowledge.
I bounced the hell off of Wanting Dead. I tried it.
Yeah.
And it man, I should have liked it. Like, on paper, it read like something I was really going to enjoy. I have not been able to get into it. Like, I've tried 3 or 4 times, but maybe I'll give it a shot and see if I can find these disco tracks.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that bit of knowledge and for the super chats. Love you. Also, Beautiful Ed, a Shantae animated series. Yes. Ooh. Why has that not happened? Yes. Absolutely.
Good question.
All right. And then we got 2 more super chats, both from Kaiser the Fighter for $2 each. Thank you very much. First one, Wolf Link versus Werehog Sonic. This is pure speed versus power. I think I got to go Werehog Sonic on this one.
He can stretch.
Yeah.
He can stretch.
Actually, so can Midna. If he has Midna on his back, it's a bit more even.
That's true. Yeah. If he has Midna, it might be an even match. Maybe Wolf Link takes it, but without Midna, I think it's pretty easy. Werehog Sonic's win.
Agreed.
Yeah. Cool. And then the other one, Knuckles from the Archie comics specifically versus Juggernaut from Marvel.
I gotta go Juggernaut.
I think I have to go Juggernaut. I mean, Knuckles is, he's tougher than leather, but he's not Juggernaut.
Juggernaut gets moving and he can't be stopped. Right. That's literally his power.
Although Knuckles can dig, he could dig underneath Juggernaut, passing right over him, and then Juggernaut knocks himself out. Well, then he can't really. Yeah, unless he knocks himself out, there's not much Knuckles could probably do to counterattack. That's true.
Yeah, Juggernaut takes it.
I think it's Juggernaut. All right. Well, thank you so much for those super chats, Kaiser the Fighter, and everyone who donated a super chat. You all are so incredibly generous. And that brings us to the end of episode 46 of the GVGcast. Thank you all so much for being here with us every week. I say this all the time, but we love you and we love doing this show with you. Of course, we have to give a special shout out to all of our patrons at the producer tier and above for helping to make this show happen and keeping the lights on here. And we couldn't do it without you. So thank you so much. But also, as always, we have to give an extra special shout out to all of our patrons at the executive producer tier and above. And those fine, amazing, incredible, stupendous folks are Brandon Bovia, Cutie Caitlin, Fangs, Z Patty, Just Brian, Sky Blue Flames, Eastman 23, Adam O'Sullivan, Richard Herrera, Logan Daniel, The D-Pad, Vesmio, Waffle King, Critter XD, Joy Content, Angel Martinez, Vedron, Joshua Hunter, Benny Yao, Blindman, Azran127, Black King, Pagrima, Geller, Joseph Rutkin, Titus Malvolio, Kiki Griffin, Lucky Wonderfish, Kyle, Wataniac, Top Dog 23100, Young Ben Kenobi, Doug Shomix, Andrew Medeiros, Brady Power, Darchi, Becca, Rocks the Cat, Killamox, Sean Davis, Michael McCaw, Matthew Wong, Goron Amber CPHT, Too Much Spaghetti, Bane 400, Ascaron 809, Ryaner, Nathan Steele, Spicy Atanda, Rain in Clouds, The Game Orb, Super Gamer Dude 101, Grantles, Ravelox, Rosa Pardo Bowling.
Hi, Mom.
Mega Amster, Darksteel 01, Jason Uloa, Jaden Buck, Cystic Warrior 29, DJ Jurassic, Super Dank Awesome Unicorn Guy, Derrick, Colin, Blaystar 25, Mumbling Yeti, Cameron Sharp, Heel, Moon Knight, Brendan Hesse, Hustlebun, Noah Fitterer, Calvin Atkinson, Brainchild, the entire state of Wisconsin, Jim Wakeland, Longboy Shiggy, Aramis Baramis, Kyle the Monarch, Dat Alpha Lion, Lord Metarex, Kyle Gamer and Barry Rookie, Blaze Collard, Eric, Turbo, DGC, Cat EV Person 5, Lady Maxillary, Dr. Ryan, Peyton Thiel, Mega Beatman True Blue Reviews, Jung Ant, and last but certainly not least, Lord Clump of Studio Crazy Train. Thank you all so much. It is my true honor to read that list out every week, or almost every week as the case may be. Remember, we have a Twitch channel as well, twitch.tv/officialgvg, where our good friends Brandon and Daniel are doing awesome stuff with Good Vibes Arcade. They stream multiple times a week, so please do go check them out over there. I also occasionally stream on our Twitch. Also, we have a VODs channel, Good VODs Gaming. So if you didn't get to catch any of their streams live, but you still want to see some VODs, we have those for you now, so go check that out as well. We are off to our patron-exclusive post-show. Thank you all so much, and we'll see you next week. Good night. And good vibes. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.